Sport mode is a beast. Holy. Check out that sky, pretty cool. Hope you can see that. What's up, guys? I wanted to do another quick video about the seat on this bad boy, the Mustang seat. I covered a little bit in my review video about the Scrambler in general, but I didn't talk any specifics really. So I want to show you guys same way to get it on or off as the stock seat. A little dirty under there, but mine, the toolkit still fits in there fine. Really ends up fitting into this area, so you can't really hold much in there. You can see there, you know, it's special order with the brown and the diamond stitch. I know this looks like it's steel, but this is definitely fiberglass. You can see like fibers inside there. Overall, it feels like really high quality. It actually feels like higher quality than the stock seat. I'm a little worried about it being vinyl and not leather. As far as durability, you can see like that's starting to wear already a little bit. But I mean, I think you just clean it and it should be just as durable as long as you take care of it, I would assume. Thought it'd be cool to show. So the diamond stitch in the brown, since I have a classic, I wanted to mimic the original as much as possible. Oh yeah. And so now we'll cruise, and I'll maybe talk a little bit about what it actually feels like when you're riding. Pretty cool sky right there. So I spent some time on the Ducati Scrambler forums, and there's a lot of conversation about seats on there all the time. So I just wanted to do a little bit more in-depth review of this. I called Mustang directly because you obviously can't get any kind of specialty stuff like that just from any other retailer. So I think like Revzilla or wherever you can find it is actually the cheapest that you can get the seat. But if you are looking for anything other than that standard black one, look on Mustang's website and look at the price there. And I mean, you can obviously call them and ask yourselves, but I think it was like $150 on top of that standard price to get something custom. And then I mean, they make it for you straight up. It's not like they have them sitting around. Like, you know, I ordered it and it took a few weeks to get to me because they make the whole thing start to finish just for me. They're obviously very helpful. They're very easy to work with. The reason why I say obviously is because, you know, they're taking my money, you know, so they're willing to do what it takes to get your money, you know, as a company. So other than that, the actual seating, this thing was a lifesaver. As I said in my review video about the bike itself, this thing really, the seat makes it a usable machine for longer riding solo, that's for sure. It's night and day difference. I kept my factory seat, and I was really like, I like to have all the stock parts still, you know, just for, I don't know, I bought the bike brand new. I'm planning to keep the bike for a long time, no matter what. I want all the stock pieces there with it, even if I'm not using them or whatever. So I went ahead and kept everything, and I kept the seat. I thought, you know, if I don't like this Mustang one or whatever, I could sell it. I could use a stock one. I never really thought in terms of selling the stock one. But since I've put the Mustang seat on, I have not even thought about putting the stock one back on, not even for a second. So a lot of people talk about they want to be able to move around on the seat. They like that they can kind of move around on it. So off-road, I get it. If I was off-road and doing like some woods riding or whatever and didn't want to be standing the whole time, then sure, I'm going to want to move around a little bit. I guess if you want to officially talk about like a track day, if somebody was bringing one of these to a track day, yeah, the stock seat maybe is a little better. If you're really like going from side to side for really fast cornering and like talking about dragging knee and everything, it's a totally different riding style. So I mean, you're physically moving yourself from one side to the other. On this seat even, it doesn't feel weird. It's not hard for you to move that way, but the stock one would be a little bit easier. I had on my SU1000S, I got a Corbin seat for that because the stock seat, I didn't like it. It hit my tailbone in a weird way. And that Corbin seat had like a lip on either side of it to kind of hug your ass in there, and that sucked for if you were doing some serious riding and you know you're wanting to like track type riding and you're hitting corners at really high speeds and you're dragging knee kind of style. You got to move and you got to hang your body off the bike a little bit. That Corbin seat was terrible for it. So I could see where people would initially think that about this one, but it's not as high ridges on this seat as it was on that Corbin. So it's still easy, but whoever is doing that on a regular basis, I think just needs to, I don't know, reevaluate why they brought the Scrambler maybe. I don't know. I can't imagine bringing this thing to a track day on a regular basis. But anyway, to each their own, and they may have the bike totally set up different. Anyhow, the biggest problem with the stock one, and this has been talked about to death, but basically like where the seat puts you is in the narrowest section of the seat, and it's kind of like really close to the tank, and so it feels like it wants to slide your balls into the tank. And there's a hump on the plastic part underneath that kind of always makes you feel like you got to move forward there. If you move your ass onto like the hump and you're just like, oh, I'm going to deal with it, you kind of have to like force your posture to keep it there, and then it just sucks all around. Your ass will start hurting. You just get sore as shit, and it's terrible. So this thing, as you can see when we were looking at it, I had it off. It has quite a transition there where your ass fits right in there. There's no more hump. It fits like right where you're supposed to. So some people like this, some people don't. I thought it was weird for the first like 10 minutes when I first got it. I was like, man, I'm kind of stuck right in there. It's like I'm just cinched in in the seat. I'm just in one position and that's it. But I can tell you now, I've been on this thing for, I don't know, probably a total of like 5 hours in a day, and no problems. That doesn't bother me. I can handle being kind of in that one position. I don't have any problems. I don't have any pressure points. I did read one comment that talked about hot spots, and I think that's a real possibility. it doesn't get, I mean, I guess it has been pretty hot here a few times already. I wasn't riding on all the super hot days, but I haven't experienced complete hot spots just yet. There hasn't been anything where my ass is overly sweating or anything, but I can definitely see where if I was taking a trip and doing, you know, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 hours a day to go like really long distance, and if I was in some hot weather or whatever, I could see some hot spots developing and that being sort of uncomfortable. But I would take that over the stock seat any freaking day of the week, any day of the week. Additionally, in my opinion, that profile of the Mustang seat looks better than all of the other options. I'm not a fan of the Sargent seat at all. That Seat Concepts kit seems pretty good, but again, I don't really dig the look of it. I actually like the line of this bike and how it has that side panel, and there is a swooping line that goes, and especially with the Classic with the rear fender, if you look at it, the rear fender has an arc, and that swooping line goes with that arc until it connects to the tank. So I'm very visual and, you know, look at the lines of a bike, and I enjoy that. I like that. Another thing that was talked about a lot in the forums, having a passenger on. And so I'm going to go ahead and just put in some other footage. I had her on the back of the bike, and I just asked her, you know, what she thought of it. What's up, guys? We got Britt, the Buell Blast riding Banshee, on back of the Ducati Scrambler right now.
I can't be a Buell Blast babe.
Buell Blast babe. Oh, sorry.
A Banshee?
Well, you're just the babe on at any given moment of any time.
Okay. Woo!
Actually, what you can talk about is how the seat is as a passenger.
Oh yeah, I remember on the stock seat I felt like I was right on top of you.
So this one feels more like you're lower and more in line with me, or what?
Well, I remember you saying like it made you feel like you were crunched forward, and it made me feel like I was crunched forward, like right on top of you.
Oh yeah.
But this one we have our own spaces. It's short, my butt's right at the back, and I don't have a very large butt.
But it feels like it's at the end of the seat?
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like we've only done shorter rides, so you've maybe spent like 20 minutes or a half hour on it before?
Yeah.
And I can only think of maybe one time when we went longer than that with the regular seat. But does it seem like this one is more or less comfortable than the standard Classic seat, or like the same, or what?
I think it seems more comfortable.
This one does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's more level, so I don't move. Like when you stop, I don't slide forward. I feel like I'm sliding forward.
Yeah, on the stock seat, it was like anytime I stopped, you always slid right into me, and then I slid right into the tank.
Yeah, and I don't do that on this one. I still have to hold on when you accelerate, but that's on any speed.
Yeah.
Without a backrest.
Yeah. So obviously, this isn't like a two-up touring machine.
No.
But for people that are wondering about having passengers on the Scrambler, it can be done. So yeah, all in all, as she mentioned, it seems like it's quite a bit of an improvement. Because yeah, she was totally right. Like if I'd slow down or whatever, she would kind of always be sliding into the back of me, and then that would make me feel even more like I'm sitting on the back of the tank, and that would make my legs even feel more cramped than they do now, because I'd be so far forward, and my legs would have to be, you know, kind of tucked up and backwards, and just wasn't ideal. So yeah, this is even better to have a passenger, because you have you have very designated, like, since the way the seat is shaped very much puts me in one place and gives me a home, and then has her in her own separate home, which just makes it more comfortable. The other thing I was going to mention quick, so I think part of what makes it work for me is that I'm only 5'6". I have like a 29-inch inseam, so I can deal with a slightly more cramped cockpit. This seat is about an inch lower than the stock seat. So where you notice it is when your feet are on pegs. So it's about an inch less travel between your ass and the foot pegs, and your feet on the pegs. Oh damn. Hopefully nobody's hurt. Too bad, I guess. Obviously somebody's hurt if they're in the ambulance. Bummer. Must be... Huh. Anyway, so that's where the difference is felt between your ass and the pegs. From the seat to the ground, yes, it's an inch less. However, the seat is wider where you're sitting, so it makes your legs stick out a little wider. So you don't notice a whole lot difference as far as like feet being flat on the ground. Another thing to note is, like I mentioned in the Ducati Scrambler review video, I have the multi-strata pegs on this bad boy with the rubber inserts, and that adds a little extra. I mean, at least 1/4 inch more, so makes it a little bit more cramped. But like I said, I'm pretty short, so it doesn't bother me. If you're like 6 foot, then I would say Mustang seat is probably not your best choice. So yeah, guys, that's the Mustang seat in a nutshell. Go ahead and ask me anything else in the comments below. You know, if you're curious about any other aspect of it, or if I forgot to talk about something. Yeah, all in all, I love the thing, and I wouldn't want the Scrambler any other way, honestly. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Totally appreciate it. Check me out on Instagram, 2 Ton. Leave some comments, like and subscribe, and keep being totally awesome. Catch you later.